Hurricane season is full of surprises, and tonight we have a pair. Miami has fresh faces and a new outlook, while Lexington has made the jump to the very next tier. USL Championship action opens up the doors tonight for a first ever encounter between Miami FC and Lexington Sporting Club. Umbrellas are out with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm David Gascon. Eastern Conference standings show Miami on the outside looking in, but a lot can change in 90 minutes.
That's another opportunity for Gaston Madonia and Miami FC to grow on the performance. Last time out, a 2-2 draw against an FC Tulsa side that is fantastic on the road. They were down men for a majority of that game, so they showed character, they showed grit, but the challenge for Miami FC now is to keep 11 players on the field and get another 3 points here at home to push up the Eastern Conference.
Forward Francisco Bonfiglio continues to shine for Miami. His team leading 9-player
bit of everything, whether it is dropping deeper and being part of the build-up phase to combine with his teammates, but he's also very tenacious and instinctual within his movement. He wants to get on the end of service, and he is quickly becoming a complete number 9 in USL Championship.
Out west, the tale is similar for Lexington. They had a brutal start to the year, but it recovered nicely.
It's all about the trust for Terry Boss, understanding that he brought in players in the offseason for a reason. It took a little bit to start to gel, but as late, we've seen Lexington start to find their identity, who they want to be on and off the ball, and they're starting to make a little bit of noise here in the Western Conference.
Lexington is in a groove right now. Winners of 4 straight across all competitions. How much weight do you put in a match like this?
A ton. It's another opportunity for this Lexington side to grow in confidence, but also grow in momentum. Over the last 4 games, they've scored 8 goals and only conceded twice. So defensively, they're a lot more compact, a lot tighter, and difficult to break down, allowing players higher up the field to be confident and express themselves.
Miami FC trying to be slump busters yet again. Lexington trying to push their winning streak up to 5. Coming up on their side, we'll get you the starting 11 and first touch. It's Miami FC, Lexington Sporting Club coming up next.
Some people think Miami is just flamingos and palm trees.
And hell yes, we have badass sunsets.
But Miami's Little Havana,
Doral,
Little Haiti,
Hialeah,
Wynwood, Coconut Grove,
Kendall,
Calle Ocho,
Sweetwater,
Homestead,
cortaditos y coladas
empanadas y croquetas.
is so much more. This is the 305.
This is who we really are. This is what we are all about.
I am Latino.
I'm a disruptor.
I am LGBTQ.
I am a villain.
I am a mother.
I am Haitian.
I am an athlete.
I am an activist.
I am a king.
I am American dream.
I am the future.
I am
Miami FC.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Doral Kia. Drive for less, drive for Doral. Bon Bon Boom, suck at something. Macron, become your own hero. And Baptist Health. Back here live at Pitbull Stadium. Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm David Gascon. Miami FC squaring off with Lexington SC for the first time ever. The youngins coming onto the pitch here on a gorgeous Saturday night. Weather coming in from different directions, but it's all good. Got a match to be played, and the youngins will enjoy themselves. We could take a look now at the starting 11 for both sides, for Miami and for Lexington. First off for Miami, a 4-3-2-1 led by head coach Gaston Madoni. The top of the pitch, Sebastian Blanco's the table setter.
Sebastian Blanco will be the key to everything going forward for Miami FC. He has the freedom to come centrally to create an overload in terms of the build-up, but he also has the ability to push high and play as a double striker within Bonfiglio. For Gaston Madoni, if you get Sebastian Blanco on the ball, that front three can be aggressive and expansive going forward.
For Lexington SC, led by head coach Terry Boss, 4-2-3-1 in between the pipes today. Brooks Thompson, he's been fantastic in 4 matches.
Another really good opportunity for Brooks Thompson to make that goalkeeping position his. Look for him to have a lot of communication between the two center backs and organizing that back four to stay compact and keeping everything in front of them. Leadership is going to be the name of the game for Brooks Thompson between the sticks for Lexington.
Since Thompson has taken over the leading goal, he has a goals against average of 1.25 and a 3-1 record with a save percentage at 769. He's been part of the catalyst to turn things around for Lexington. A beautiful Saturday night. Fans in attendance hoping to see Miami FC get their 6th win of the season. That would double their win total from all of 2024. For Lexington, 4-6-5. They opened up the year with a couple of victories, but they were winless in 13 straight. This match is underway. First ever encounter between these two sides, Western Conference and Eastern Conference. Miami FC in the blue kits, Lexington SC in the orange and white. Lexington coming off a 1-0 victory against Phoenix a week ago. For Miami FC, a 2-2 draw. It felt like it was more than that, coming back from down a goal, down a player as well, into the box. This goes rolling into Bill Hamid.
Right, a really good opportunity here for Lexington. Comes off of a really long throw from Marcus Sepson. He's going to be really important going forward. The ability to break lines with his runs, but also very won and comfortable situations in between lines.
Bill Hamid so far this year, 5-6-1 record. Goals against at 142. The save percentage just a hair over 72. He's got a couple clean sheets on the year. One of them against Rhode Island on the road. Michael Adedokun getting his first touch. Adedokun scored the game-winning goal last week against Phoenix in the 34th minute. Temperatures at first touch tonight, 85 degrees, and the humidity there ever so ripe at 74%. Been raining off and on here in South Florida over the last couple days, but it's the month of July, so it's to be expected.
Especially with the conditions here, both teams are going to want to get on the ball and play this game at their terms to make the opposition start to chase and expend energy.
Lucas Milano playing up front here today. Sebastian Blanco. Jonathan Ricketts on the back line, making his 14th start of the year. Joining over from Sacramento Republic. Ricketts does have a goal this year across all competitions. To the box, headed around, goes right into Brooks Thompson. This portion of the broadcast brought to you by Doral Kia.
Is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
Couple of golden opportunities for Miami FC on the doorstep, and they were denied twice.
Just looking for the high press of Miami FC, trying to force turnovers higher up the field. Really aggressive start for Gaston Madoni and the home side. If you're Lucas Milano, you need to pick out a corner here. Same goes for Bonfiglio, and uncharacteristic from Sebastian Blanco. Not to hit the distance, the target from about 12 yards out. Golden opportunity for Miami FC to take the lead.
So things not going according to plan for anybody in the first couple minutes. Miami ever so close to taking a 1-0 advantage. They are denied. Lexington able to escape. Adedokun was the one that was dropped. Got a quick moment. Keys to tonight's matchup.
For this Miami FC side, you want to dictate tempo through your middle three. So Mercado, Veron, and Vasquez, look for them to slow the game down and play it on their terms. And for Lexington, it all comes down to that front three. How quickly can they get in a rhythm? Because they've shown, especially as of late, how clinical and ruthless they can be.
Knutson making his 14th start of the year for Gaston Madoni. Sebastian Blanco with a 2-on-1. On Filio over the left-hand side. Blanco racing to it. Vasquez, top of the box, lets it rip. Shot blocked on the way through. Miami flirting around with their first goal of this contest. Lexington just holding on for dear life. This is a Lexington team that was struggling to open up the year. They're actually unbeaten their first 3 matches, then fell apart. They were winless in 13 straight. They went 0-8-5 during that span, but since then, Ricky, they've ripped off 4 in a row.
I think we have to give a lot of credit to Terry Boss. You and I had the ability to speak with him over that stretch of games, and he said, look, the results weren't there, but we never wavered our belief, wavered on the minute details. And he had trust in his side, saying the results weren't there, but we knew it was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when we would start to be able to flip the script. And now we're starting to see Lexington really come into their own and get those results.
And Terry Boss, the head coach of Lexington, was enthusiastic not only about his team's recent performance, but about the mindset of the team. Even when they labored and they struggled, confidence never wavered. Outside Milano. Milano with the chip towards the back post. Nobody in blue and black for Miami until now. That drive goes up and away.
It's been a good start for Miami FC, especially through that front three. Milano's been really aggressive. We've seen Sebastian Blanco have their freedom just to go and search the game and get touches. And then Bonfilio, the player that's going to play the center of the front three, occupies the 2 center backs. So nice balance throughout that front line for Miami.
Got a quick look at Gaston Madoni, the head coach for Miami in his first year with the organization. While the team might be up and down, he has never faltered in terms of his enthusiasm. Also the way that he speaks about his club week in and week out. He feels good about his team, even if the performances aren't there on a regular basis.
Passion is what you get from speaking to Gaston Madoni and trying to make that translate into his team. Has the ability to be really relatable to every single one of his players.
Sargent playing this back. Miami extending themselves, trying to deliver some heat against this Lexington squad. So far in the year, they've suffered 22 goals against. Goal differential right now sits at -6.
You just see the high press for Miami FC. So if you are Lexington in particular, through that back line, you need to be very clean within your technical ability, but also decision-making to bypass that initial line of pressure. If you do, the game will start to open up in the attacking phase.
Dokun trying to cheat the system a little bit. With the recent run for Lexington, unbeaten their last 4 across all competitions. They've outscored the opposition by a margin of 6. 8 goals for and 2 against. 1 can point to their goal differential and the offensive output. When you look at all the damage that's been done, it's been equally across the board for Lexington SC. In fact, the team's leading scorer, Marcus Epps, he only leads the club with 3 goals in the year.
And that's going to be a point of emphasis as Lexington continues to try to make a run. In particular, the second half of the season, you need more production from your big-time players. There's just too much talent on this Lexington roster to have 3 goals be the leading in your goal-scoring ability.
First sustained pressure by Lexington today. Off with over. Jafal. Goes into the box near the 6. Hamid will touch him. A couple moves being made by Lexington. Ayago was one of them. Bonfilio, oh, he had Blanco on the left-hand side, just couldn't find him in time.
Been the second time that we've seen Kendall Burks have a really difficult time dealing with a direct ball within the back line of Lexington. So defending 1-on-1, you need to go out and attack and win the initial duel. You cannot allow this ball to bounce in your defensive half.
Vetrano out wide. Bonfilio's near the 6. Bonfilio, the header, blocked on the way through. He's asking for a handball delivered by Burks. No call.
Good start for Bonfilio here. in terms of his movement, but also really testing this back line of Lexington. The last second just ball does hit off the shoulder of Kendall Burks.
Sebastian Blanco, Christian Vasquez, both there. First corner of this match for either side. Blanco, a goal and a couple of assists on the year. Works short, Vasquez. To Blanco, head up all the way. A bit of a retreat. This drive from well out. Hovering up and away and wide.
Hits it well, Veron, from distance as well. No one closes down the space. Why not have a go? Love the aggressiveness as it just continues to rise and goes wide of that goal.
Replays tonight brought to you by Juan Bambu. Bolo Akinyoni, first time calling his number tonight. It's the regular quartet out there for Gaston Madoni on the back line. Alejandro Matrano, Bolo Akinyoni, Dalton Knutson, Jonathan Ricketts sprinting forward into the attacking third. Unable to get to it. Vasquez. Collision at midfield. It was a heavy one. Players from both sides now down the deck. Elvis Osmanovic, our lead official, in the middle of it to survey. Iago looks to be the one down for Lexington, and Alejandro Matrano the guilty party for Miami.
Bit of an awkward coming together. And the clear foul from Matrano, knows exactly what he's doing. Just impedes the run of Iago. Very lucky not to see a yellow card here. It is a transitional moment in favor of Lexington. Heads up play from the outside back of Miami just to not allow Iago to be really aggressive going forward.
Miami FC not dominant at home. It's one of the areas that Gaston Madoni would love his club to improve on. Of the 5 wins this season, 3 of them are at home, but they're 3-5-1. 2 1-1 on the road. This is a club that was winless in 18 straight matches on the road leading up to this year. Adidoku out wide, trying to make a move around Ricketts, no such luck.
Really good recovery from Jonathan Ricketts. Adidoku, very 1v1 talented player. Left footer plays on the left-hand side, so likes to provide a lot of service in. You see Gaston Madoni expecting his side to be very good in terms of their rest defense, saying that Lexington is very transitional and very ruthless when they turn their defense into offense.
Kendall Burks. The start here tonight. Goes deep into the box. Coming around. Lexington holding possession right now. They have not had a threatening moment towards Bill Hamid just yet. Miami, on the other hand, has had 3 quality chances denied twice. Adidoku into the box, and Kanyoti hovering around to disrupt it. A miss hit by Varon. Opportunity here, the strike blocked by Bolo Akinyoti. Lexington this time asking for a handball. Quick pivot from Firmino, no such luck. Pace has been good though for both sides. Milano trying to fend off not 1 but 2 defenders. The cross, oh, the delivery into the box for Bonfilio, sawed off. Adidoku here. Lexington SC maneuvering around defensively, but a bad ball here and a giveaway. Oh, we have a moment. USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLLeagueChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Bonfilio working around. It's going to go right back to Lexington. Brooks Thompson, who's in goal, 3-1 record. Prior to him getting the nod, Logan Ketterer, who was in net previously, he was sub 500 with a goals against average and a $125. Things have turned around for Lexington in between the sticks for Terry Boss. One of the things he had mentioned to us this week was he feels better about his club, not only defending on set pieces, but also attacking on set pieces.
Really challenge his side to win their individual duels and have that responsibility and want to do that. As of late, we've seen them do a fantastic job at defending set pieces and winning that box kind of real estate, but also going out and attacking service, especially in the attacking 18-yard box for Lexington.
Back in Yodi. Back to Knudsen. This goes right back to Lexington. USL on CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown in championship Eastern Conference action. Last year's final runner-up, Rhode Island FC takes on Northeast rival Hartford Athletic on Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Both teams improving from how they began the year. First ever meeting between Miami and Lexington. You can make the statement on paper this is an expansion club versus an experienced club, but that's only because Miami FC has been around USL Championship for a bit. That's it. A lot of veteran players for Lexington, and not a whole heck of a lot for Miami FC this year.
In terms of individual experience, the favor is in Lexington. You look at players like Marcus Epps, Nick Firmino, and the Bergs, the list goes on and on for how successful that the individuals have been that Terry Boss has elected to bring in. But for Miami FC, it's been a collection of players that have not had experience in USL Championships or even America. Moran, you look at Mercado, Vasquez, players that Gaston Modoni knew, Bonfilio, that knew from his time in Argentina that he brought over, really challenged them. And then you have the compliments of players like a
Donkun. Good pivot against Ricketts. Twice undressed him. Adedokun trying to make something happen out wide. Ricketts, fine job not leaving his footing and good positioning.
Got beat once and twice, Jonathan Ricketts, but in the end, doing a great job at recovering and just playing the body of Adedokun, not diving in, cutting down the angle, defending 101 in your defensive 18-yard box. Good stuff from the right back.
One of the things that Terry Boss wanted his Lexington club to do was take advantage of Miami overcommitting. He feels that they have great strengths up front, but it can also leave them vulnerable when they attack them out wide. Adedokun's been an emphasis so far in this match.
There's been a lack of rotation for Miami FC, especially if you can play and combine and central locations, because Bolu Akinyoti and Knudsen are very front foot defenders, meaning that they're going to be aggressive at stepping in to that middle third. So if you can have a secondary movement, whether it is a Iago dropping in, then you're running behind. That is the way that you can really unbalance this Miami FC side.
Lexington on the move. Looking for their first shot on target against Bill Hamid. A couple inside the 18. Iago's one of them. Firmino was around as well. Positioning for Miami's been good. Even on the weak side, that ball nearly found to Epps. Miami indicating that Epps was offside. Milano, and that ball taken away. Sargent, Adedoku.
Especially on wide part to the field for Lexington. Very good in tight spaces. Midense, left footer, playing the right-hand side, so he's always going to want to come a little bit more centrally to combine. Adedokun's going to stay as wide as he possibly can to try to isolate himself at going forward.
Chances have favored Miami, but possession right now favoring Lexington, and they're on the move again. Iago looking for service, just missed that ball. Hamid came out to challenge.
Talked about the front foot defending. This is Bolu Akinyoti playing almost as a left back, so that allows a pocket of space for Iago to run it in between Ricketts and Knudsen. Nearly gets on the end of this. It's a fantastic ball in from Medense. You just need to sell out here because Bill Hamid's caught in no man's land as well.
Medense, one of the 3 changes that Terry Boss has been able to insert into the lineup. And he feels like the guys in the front 5 have been the difference makers during this turnaround for Lexington. As they go, this team will go.
Well, we've seen Terry Boss try to find the right relationships through the attacking unit for his side. We've seen Speedy Williams start a lot of the games in a deeper line position. Nick Firmino was mostly that number 10 role, but now we start to see Marcus Epps play underneath Iago.
Good run here for Miami. Milano outside Matrano. Vasquez pivoted around. Ball into the right-hand side, but on. Fortunate. Ball placed into the middle. Good stop by Thompson. Miami with the threat so far.
Good back and forth nature for Miami FC. You start on one side of the field, you end on the other, and it's a good header in the end from Lucas Milano to generate enough power from about 12 yards out, straight at Brooks Thompson.
One element that Terry Boss, the head coach for Lexington, did mention this week to us was he was worried about Miami on set pieces. That's a perfect example why the headers from the back line, or at least their attacking third, when they can maneuver around, are an emphasis for Miami, and a big portion of why they've been successful in the goals for category.
They have a lot of attacking players and a lot of attacking options that are very dominant in the air. You look at the 2 center backs for Miami FC. We just saw Milano has a very good field popping up at the right place at the right time, and Bonfiglio as well. So this Miami FC is starting to show that they can really hurt you in different ways going forward.
Epps is on the move. Epps and Adedokun have been heavy on the ball here on the left-hand side for Lexington so far. And that man, Terry Boss, is enjoying his time with Lexington. A big point of emphasis and why his team has been recovered is because the team has felt they have good confidence and a good group together, but also a bona fide leadership at the top. The organization from top to bottom has given him a great deal of confidence that this club can be successful, not only in the month of July, but once we get to September and potentially October.
How many times have we seen an expansive club really mirror the attitude and the vibe of their head coach? And that's exactly what we've seen from Terry Boss, especially through that rough stretch. Win this in 13 games. It really could have been very easy for him just to start a panic, try to change a lot of things, and really show his concern, but he actually stayed the course. Understood that we have to trust our process because we are growing this thing from the ground up. And of that, we've seen his side mirror that self-confidence and belief for Lexington.
Terry Boss has played at the highest level in the United States, the MLS level, as a goalkeeper. And when you play at the highest level in the United States, the area of panic probably isn't felt when you're playing in the first couple months of the season USL Championship. Things can come, things can go, especially with transactions being made, but a win can change the fate for a couple clubs, especially here tonight. Both teams right now 17 points on the outside of a playoff spot. USL on ESPN2. Watch July 18th as Eastern Conference rivals battle it out on the field. Detroit City takes on Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC in a fight to grab points and move the table. On July 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on the Deuce, ESPN2. Miami out shooting Lexington. It's what Miami wants to do. The element to where they have not converted have been 2 chances early on with a wide open net into the dangerous spot. Milano, Bonfiglio, he scores! Great ball movement, and there's a high 10 for Bonfiglio, leading the club in Miami on the board 1-0.
Fantastic goal here from Miami FC. It comes within the front 3, staying connected and understanding the movement off of one another. If you are Gaston Madonna, you need to be very pleased as Blanco drops in. That allows Lucas Milano to be more aggressive from his outside in run. And then it comes down to composure, but also the movement from Bonfilio as he comes centrally. Very unselfish from Lucas Milano, and then it's a composed finish in the end for Bonfilio. He takes his touch centrally and he lifts it a little bit to beat the outstretched leg from Brooks Thompson. Great goal for Miami FC.
There have been times throughout the year that Miami strikers have been too unselfish with the ball. But in this case for Lucas Milano, it's all about field awareness. Where you're at on the pitch, where your back is facing, and also if number 9's right beside you, and he made it count. His 10th goal of the season for Miami, and they're on the board leading 1-0.
Comes through the comfortability and the understanding and the relationship starting to grow within that front three for Miami FC. Bonfilio peels wide, Lucas Milano is very direct, and now it's the underlapping run from the number 9, and it's a great finish from front to back. Great goal for Miami FC.
We get a bit top heavy here in Miami, and for Miami FC, Bonfilio 10 goals on the year. Miami as a club, 16.
At some point, you're going to need some secondary goal scoring for Miami FC. The closest is the center back Knudsen with only 2 for Miami FC. So yes, Lucas Milano doing a good job at bringing in his teammates. 2 assists now in the season, but you need him to start to find the back of the net a little bit more frequently. Same goes for Sebastian Blanco, because the talent is there. Now that production needs to follow.
We've seen teams like this in years past, though, be extremely top heavy with maybe 1 or 2 goal scorers that do a lot of the heavy lifting. Runs in them at times, but the question is it sustainable from week 1 all the way to the end of the year and in the postseason play?
And that is the hardest thing in USL Championship. If you can have now 1, 2, 3 players hovering around that 10 goal, that's a really good ball right here.
On the move is Lexington, but that ball, way too much run. It goes back to Miami.
It's the first time that we saw Lexington play in between lines and really bypass that front 6 of Miami FC. So now Medense needs to take a little bit off of it, because Zenga makes a good run from his right back roll.
Zenga only making his 5th start of the year with Lexington. Drafted by Columbus Crew just a couple years ago. Spent time in MLS Next Pro and now in USL Championship. Lexington SC moves from USL League One up to USL Championship from last year. 2024, they only had 5 victories. And the head-scratching moments for them were consistent throughout the year. They lost 20 points from a winning position last year. Ugly.
Just looking for consistency, and that is the growing pains that you get from a very young club. Understanding how to manage really critical moments, how to punish teams, how to close games out, how to play that game within the game, taking the game away from your opposition.
Blanco with a one-hopper. Thompson, problems with it, fortunate enough to recover. Vasquez was bearing down.
There will be moments for this Lexington side within their defensive structure. You need to be a little bit more aggressive if you are Brooks and Hafferty at just stepping up and condensing the space in front of you, because Miami FC is finding a lot of success playing in between lines.
Dense was asking for it. Iago gets dropped there by Akinyoti. Great effort, though, by Iago. Played it back. Firmino left vacated. Ball finally gets to him. Sargent. Idoku trying to maneuver around Jonathan Ricketts. It has been quite the dance between those two combatants for the first 28 minutes plus.
More pressure on the left back. More pressure on the left back.
Francisco Bonfilio, his team leading 10th goal of the season, has Miami on the board. They were flirting with a goal in the first 5 minutes of play. A couple chances denied. Other shots going way wide of the target. Gasta Madoni has his club playing with the advantage right now. Back to Ricketts, but on.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Let's go.
Pace of play has not been back and forth. Miami's been on the front foot for the majority of it.
Just need more vertical runs from Lexington right now. Left side of your screen, everyone wants the ball to feet, which makes the back line of Miami. Good run here from Marcus.
Epps searching, gets dropped just outside the 18. Knudsen awfully fortunate there.
The first time that we've seen a vertical run in a direct movement from Marcus Epps. He breaks the line, and now that draws out Knudsen from his center back position, and this is all about recognition of space for Marcus Epps. Understanding that Knudsen's coming in really hot, just sidestep and take the contact and win a really interesting location for this Lexington side to really test Bill Hamid in this back line of Miami.
Knudsen down right now. Sebastian Blanco talking to his medical staff that's coming out. Miami is without Matias Romero today. Picked up red last week against FC Tulsa. Gaston Madoni looking on as Knudsen still back up to his feet, but ever so slowly. Miami's run into a rash of not only players missing in action, but some that have been unable to play because of some disciplinary reasons.
Thank you, sir.
5 red cards on the year for Miami FC. They haven't been hindered by the injury bug too often, as we have a hydration break in the 31st minute. Knudsen talking to our lead official, Elvis Osmanovic. Our lead official has not been as busy tonight as he was last week with Miami and FC Tulsa. Here's Francisco Bonfilio. Always nice when you talk about him at the beginning of a broadcast and then he delivers in-game.
He's quickly becoming a nightmare to defend, and players starting to understand his type of quality. Great movement off of the ball. I just want you to watch the understanding of Bonfilio as Lucas Milano comes century. He occupies both center backs, and that allows Bonfilio just to come a little bit central. And so many times players would try to take this strike first touch. Notice the composure, and notice how he lifts it a little bit, which bypasses the right side of Brooks Thompson. It's a high-class finish from Bonfilio to get his 10th on the season and to give Miami the lead.
Indicative of how good this team has been attacking when they are unselfish. As soon as Bonfilio scored that goal, he pointed right to Milano to acknowledge, hey, you did all the heavy work. I just finished it off, but you can give the hockey assist to Blanco, who set that thing all up in the middle of the pitch. It's exactly what you want with Milano, who can pivot left or right.
There's glimpses of how good and how fluid this Miami FC side can be going forward. They are just so good when they're quick, when they're decisive, and they're connected. It's the understanding as Sebastian Blanco is going to drop deep. Now you need a vertical run to break a line. And then like you said, David, it comes down to the understanding of playing off of one another, the unselfishness from Lucas Milano. He's facing his own goal back towards the attacking goal. So there's someone in a better position than I am, and that is the movement from Bonfilio.
Team's hitting the sideline right now, and if you're Terry Boss, the head coach for Lexington, what's the message to his guys as we settle down for a little bit?
You need more movement going forward. You need more from Jafal and Nick Firmino to take the game away from Miami FC, and out of possession, you need to do a better job at just closing down passing lanes. Too many times there's been space in between lines, and that's where we start to see Miami FC grow some confidence. But when you are in possession, you need more movement from Adedokun. We then say at being more direct, in theory, that should allow Iago and Marcus Epps more time and space on the ball.
Terry Boss, well-spoken. We talked to him earlier the week. He was great, engaging as always. It's always nice when you have a head coach that's been through it all, too. He was with Oregon State, Pac-12 Coach of the Year, in MLS as a goalkeeper. Now comes the USL Championship from League One, trying to make a name for himself here. He's got a lot of the pieces. How far off do you feel like Lexington is from competing amongst the top 4 in the Western Conference?
I think as the season starts to progress and get deeper into 2025, we're going to see the best of Lexington, starting to get more comfortable in the identity and the way that Terry Boss wants to approach games tactically and mentally. And I think it's a nice little glimpse of what we've seen over the last 4 unbeaten games for Lexington in all competitions.
Dense here. chopping things up as the table will be set for Lexington. Quick pause with the hydration break. A brief wall inside the 18. Adokun and company trying to find an equalizer here. This drive from outside, Bill Hamid just whiffed on that ball, and it goes screaming wide.
Right idea from Adokun, but you need at the very least to put it on target and just force a save out of Bill Hamid, because there is a lot of traffic right in front of his goal mouth. Players are oncoming and just pulls it wide. Wasteful in the end from Lexington.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Bill Hamid in goal for Miami has been one of the biggest offseason acquisitions here in 2025 for Miami. Harsh contact in the middle of the pitch. This will be going back against Lexington. Our lead official, Elvis Osmanovic, looking on immediately on this. Zenge, the guilty party.
Also need more defensive presence and effort from the Dempsey here, because Zenge has too many players that he needs to cover, too much grass that he needs to come across to. The right leg catches Mitrano here. So if you are one of the two outside backs, Sargent on the slot back, Zenge on the right back, you need to have more communication at pulling back your winger at helping you out.
Fast restart. Goes right back to Lexington. And the way that this match has unfolded, with a couple guys being attacked on one side and Jonathan Ricketts, it's been apparent Adokun and Epps on that left-hand side. Has this just been something that Terry Boss has been preaching from one end, and also Gaston Madoni on the other, trying to attack the back line in a different concept for Miami?
For Gaston Madoni, you look at what he's been able to do over the last two games against FC Tulsa. He knew it was going to be more of a combative type of match, a little bit more direct, but now Gaston Madoni thinks that he can really break through this Lexington side with the ball at his feet and his side's feet. He shifted into a 4-3-2-1 formation wide, so now that gives you a little bit more of a structure essentially, and that is where he thought this game was going to be won and lost, and through 37 minutes done a good job at playing this game on their terms.
Bonfilio not happy with the ruling here. Joe Hafferty on the deck, picking himself up. It has been direct for Miami. It's been out wide and on angles for Lexington. Each team approaching the opponent's defense in a different kind of concept. Miami with the flurry early on, and Bonfilio with the marker, his 10th of the season. Lucas Milano with the helper, Sebastian Blanco setting it all up from nearly at midfield. Miami with the lead, trying to build on it. Lexington trying to draw even before the end of this first half. Ricky and myself will have first half highlights, stats, some news and notes. And we'll take a look at a light menu across USL Championship tonight. All that and then some at the end of 45 minutes of play.
Getting left side of your screen, just no vertical movement for Lexington. You need more in that department from Iago and Marcus Sebs. End result, Adedokun's taking a second, a third, a fourth touch, because he just has no options to play into.
There have been patches of enthusiasm from Lexington this match, but it hasn't been consistent through 11 bodies against Miami.
Great turn here from Ricketts.
Ricketts bodied off that ball. He hits the sideline. Dropped. Javal was the one that did the damage.
Just great work here from Jonathan Ricketts. First to elude Adokun, get himself on the half turn, and now just push the tempo. Continue to show the aggressive momentum that Miami FC has grown into this half. It's a clear foul from Jafon. No play on the ball whatsoever. Just takes out Ricketts and gives Miami FC the ability to slow the game down, get more numbers higher up the field.
Lexington is not playing like the team that has ripped off 4 in a row.
Been frustrating in terms of the performance for Terry Boss in this Lexington side, in and out of possession. getting stretched apart, and no real rhythm when on the ball.
Team had several delays in getting down to Miami because of weather. Flight patterns the whole 9 yards. Blanco, easy chip to the right-hand side. Miami penetrating into the 18. Miscommunication, Knutson there on the tie-up. Miami couldn't get a clean shot towards target. Blanco will just pivot this thing all the way back to Bill Hamid as they reset. Miami trying to get their 4th win of the season at home. In real time, they have 20 points. Came into this match on the outside of the playoff spots, looking in. Amongst the top 8, they're stuck in a tiebreaker situation. Birmingham Legion, who had a brutal start to the year, has recovered nicely. They were amongst the top 8. For Lexington, they were a team that was an afterthought in the Western Conference, but they have rebounded, they have recovered. Offensive production has increased for head coach Terry Boss, and the defense finally playing stout. When they were winless in 13 matches, Ricky, they had scored a whopping 9 goals during that span. I don't care what league you're in, that's not sustainable to even keep your job if you're Terry Boss, right?
Yeah, it was interesting because I was able to speak with Terry Boss on numerous of occasions.
Toronto into the box, nobody around for Miami.
When they were going through that really rough spell. Again, that poise that he showed, the trust.
Vasquez, open lane, lets it rip, no.
And understood that the performances were actually pretty good with Lexington, that they were on the ball a lot, they were creating.
Blanco chips this in, it goes right to the keeper.
Some really good opportunities, but it was the efficiency that was lacking, especially in that final third. Not having the composure to pick out their spots when they did get on the ball in a more aggressive positioning, but also defensively, they're getting stretched out, they're losing their individual markers, really naive defending through that stretch of game. So that recipe is not going to get you points. It's going to make you drop in the Western Conference. They've righted those wrongs, and now we start to see Lexington find their form.
Adedokun.
Good ball.
Epps into the box. The chip on the right-hand side neutralized at the last minute by Alejandro Matrano.
Just some movement off of Marcus Epps again. When he makes a run, it breaks the line. It plays into the hands of what Lexington wants to do going forward. But now, as this ball's coming across, you have 2 options. You need to toe poke it with your right foot on target, or just swing across your body with your left foot at just testing Bill Hamid. And good recovery from Matrano to put it out for a corner kick.
Zengi was open on the right-hand side, along with Ayago. Adedokun. Before that corner is delivered, Varan and Epps hanging out. Adedokun. Low line drive delivery, we do it all over again. Not the best of efforts from Adedokun on that delivery, but he gets a mulligan. We'll keep an eye on our 4th official to see how much extended time we're awarded in this first half. There was a hydration break. Adedokun again. Better delivery this time. Lofted around. Miami escapes. Good chip. Miami in transition, but no numbers for Milano. Vasquez sprinting on the right-hand side. Vasquez, ball nearly found him. Common foul here. Ayago not happy with the rule.
Fantastic recovery from Sargent here, as Milano does a great job at slowing the game down and being patient, allowing Vasquez to make that second run. In the end, Ayago clear foul on Ricardo as he comes across and takes out the defensive midfielder for Miami.
Miami's performance tonight in the first half is similar to how they performed in the last bout against Tampa Bay on the road. They led 1-0 at the end of that first half, but they collapsed in half number 2. And for Gaston Matoni right now, it's about keeping your foot on the gas and completing a full 90 and walking away with 3 points.
Starts with the mentality. Understanding that job is not done for Miami FC. You need to approach the second half exactly how you started this game. You're ball dominant, you're on the front foot, and more importantly, you won the intensity battle. You won every 50-50 duel.
Weather up in Kentucky has been similar to how it's been in South Florida. The humidity, the heat, not different for Lexington SC to do battle with. Now the elements in play for them, trailing near the end of this first half with limited chances towards target. Burks plays this all the way back to Thompson. Thompson's been tested a few times. Bonfilo getting the better of him midway through this opening half. Long ball here. Iago disrupted by Bolo Akinyoti again. 4 minutes of stoppage time. 4 minutes. Both teams nursing a little bit. Alejandro Matrano getting back to his feet. But then say the same for Lexington. It's been strong performance so far for Miami. Lexington has a lot to recover from to begin the second half. Terry Boss can make some changes. A couple guys that have been involved at a great deal of pace. Medense, Adedokun, and Epps have been all over the map. But they need more effort from everybody else. And some contact, and Bill Hamid is on his backside. Iago, mouth open and a little disgusted with what's going on right now.
I have to think that Iago's walking a very thin line for the remainder of this game. Moments ago, took out Mercado through the backside, now comes across and clips Bill Hamid. It's a big challenge for the striker in terms of his discipline and positioning for the remainder of this game. How he goes into challenges and contact will be crucial.
Gasta Madoni coaching it up with Lucas Milano. Go back to this contact.
Just Bill Hamid showing his experience, making the most of it, and playing what we call the dark arts in this game. He creates a contact, he goes down, and now gives Elvis Osmanovic something to think about regarding Iago.
Were you about that action when you played back in the day?
Never.
No?
Never. Come on.
Not once?
Not once.
All right. I didn't think you were.
Never.
I just had to ask.
Never.
I don't think your dad would tolerate that. Now that I've met him, I know what's up. Not going to be allowing that stuff around here. The dark arts. Got to earn it against you.
Can say the same for with your father as well.
4 minutes of stoppage time. At the end of this first half, stats and highlights.
Good
Vasquez
touch.
trying to add another one to Bonfilio's total. Block on the left-hand side. Not his best delivery. Lucas Milano with his hand up on the right-hand side. He was missed.
Just plays this ball a little bit too early, Vasquez. As it is a 3v2 going down the other way, you need to make one of the defenders jump out of position. That's when you play into the path of your teammate. Vasquez is a player that Gautam Madoni is really high on in terms of his development, what we've seen in 2025 and his potential going forward.
Miami applying some pressure. Epps lost it. Mercado, great effort, held it in. Milano. Bonfilio, Milano, Vasquez. Crisp, decisive passing by Miami. But Lexington not scrambling around. Slow ball, Bolo Akinyoti now left defending. 3-on-2 for Lexington. Can they get an equalizer? Akinyoti with a fine recovery at the last minute against Iago.
Just a little bit off in terms of the timing between Medense and Iago. I just want you to watch center of your screen, Iago. You need to play the ball right now, because as you slow him up, now Iago needs to twist, needs to turn and try to get his right body position around the ball. In doing that, that gives Bolo Akinyoti the time to recover, to leave his feet, and make a fantastic defensive play.
Burks will throw this in. Kendall, long throw in. Iago had his jersey grabbed. Bolo Akinyoti, the header. Miami gets us out of harm's way. We'll keep an eye on our lead official, Elvis Osmanovic, not looking at his watch yet. One final thrust potentially for Lexington. Bonfilio extending himself, trying to cause a turnover. Zengue could not get to it.
Just off in the attacking third for this Lexington side. Not clean enough in terms of their decision making, but also the quality. And that is something that if you are Terry Boss is going to be the top priority at your halftime talk for Miami FC. Continue with the momentum. Trying to get that second goal earlier rather than later will be the utmost importance for Gaston Madoni.
45 minutes in the books here from Pitbull Stadium. Sebastian Blanco setting up Lucas Milano, and that man, Francisco Bonfilio, his 10th goal of the season. Coming up next is the Macron halftime report. Shots in the opening half, 12-2 in favor of Miami. They have the advantage, they have the confidence and the momentum building into the second half. Miami 1, Lexington 0.
The Magic City, sparked by Julia Tuttle's vision and Henry Flagler's railroad expansion. What was once swampland, transformed into a booming city. This is 1896.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
Back here live at Pitbull Stadium, Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm David Gascon. Beautiful Saturday night Cron halftime report. Francisco Bonfilio, the only marker in the opening half. Miami was hovering all over the place. They got one. We're thinking they should have had 2 or 3 goals, but regardless, they had the advantage right now through 45 minutes of play. Well, we got some time. Now take a look at the updated standings across the board.
For Miami FC, if they can continue with the momentum that they gain, now you can end this day at number 8, and that gives you into the playoffs. So for Gaston Madoni, big halftime talk to continue to grow into this game and stay the course.
Yeah, a little problem with where Miami is right now. You see Indian 11 and Detroit City. Miami does not own the tiebreaker against either of those teams. They were swept by Detroit earlier this year. They have one more rematch with Indy 11 later in the year, but regardless, that puts them above the playoff line. Western Conference standings with Lexington still on the outside looking in. Ricky, you get 3 points here tonight if you're Lexington. That pole vaults you up until the 7th or 6th position. No reason to panic.
Just tells you how tight the Western Conference is, from New Mexico, who sits in number 1, to the Switchbacks, who are at the bottom of this Western Conference, 10 points. So if you can get on a roll and just string some results together, you know you can make a push into this Western Conference.
Take a look now at the His brace last week against FC Tulsa really helped them recover and get Miami to level footing.
3 goals right now in his last 2 games for Francisco Bonfilio, deserving team of the week, and added Okun, the player who scored the goal that gave Lexington all 3 points at Phoenix Rising last time out.
Yeah, the wonderful thing with Bonfilio is just not only is his experience, but the way that he's been able to elevate Miami week in and week out. I mean, sky's the limit for this guy.
It's going to be the leader in terms of his quality, but also his leadership to lead the line.
And the experience presented by El Jimador Spike Bavidas is a video docu-series that shows the history, passion, and community of USL clubs and their supporting groups. The latest episode showcases Rhode Island FC and their support group Defiance 1636. It's available on youtube.com, USL, on July 17th. More to come on the other side. Miami won. Nothing across the board for Lexington.
People around, we want you to hear where we are at.
Oh, what a goal!
No one thought we would do what we did against Louisville.
We were hot, we were clicking, we were scoring goals.
Even after the whistle blew and they were champions, forget about it. Raise your scarves, we kept playing.
I don't think I've heard a louder scream from a group of people than we did that night.
That's the important thing about this group. They never stop loving their team.
Tell them that's like it.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load off it. Take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water unique? It's our commitment to making our bottles from at least 50% recycled plastic. In fact, Crystal Geyser is the only beverage company in the U.S. to exclusively own and operate 2 plastic recycling facilities. And you can help us make an impact too by always remembering to recycle your bottles. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Simple, but not easy.
Keeper's up. He scores!
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
And we're back here at the break. 45 minutes in the books. Francisco Bonfilio's goal. The difference maker so far, Lexington licking their wounds. 1-0 is the score. I got some time to take a look around USL Championship. We got some news and notes hot off the press, Ricky.
Dominic Casciano, the new headman for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. What a hire that will be for the USL Championship, making that pathway not only for players, but also for coaches. If you excel at League One, now you're going to get the opportunity to prove yourself at one of the best clubs in USL Championship. When you talk about the attendance, El Paso Locomotive, almost 9,000. Rhode Island, almost 11,000 this past weekend. Fantastic stuff. And then you look at what the Jägermeister Cup has been able to do for USL as a whole, allowing the League One side to test their luck and their skills against the championship side. And that will be live, the draw, Friday the 18th at 9 a.m. on CBS Golazo Network.
Shots, 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 shots. Out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Marriott, Miami-Dade land. Look at the scoreboard right now, a light menu tonight. Anything jump out at you at all?
Birmingham Legion taking off 3 points in going to North Carolina, what we've seen over the last couple games for Mark Briggs, fantastic stuff. We see Dominus Danny Trejo starting to get on the score sheet. Those two players, big time signings, and Jordan Stewart taking down Orange County, Ivanovich, and Soyberg, the players that provided the difference for the Monterey Bay side.
Indy 1-0 over Rhode Island in the 70th minute. It's our out-of-town scoreboard, and also Week 19, the remaining schedule tonight and also tomorrow on Galazzo.
You look at Oakland Roots, Benny Feilhaber trying to be the first time in Roots organization history to win 4 on the road, but it's not going to be easy against the Palmadous Caught side and Phoenix Rising, who are even 5-5-5 around across the board.
All the action available on ESPN Plus and also CBS Galazzo. Got some stats and highlights right around the corner, and then we also got a second half to be played. Lexington trying to get themselves level footing.
The Magic City, sparked by Julia Tuttle's vision and Henry Flagler's railroad expansion. What was once swampland, transformed into a booming city. This is 1896.
Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Macron. Become your own hero. Bon Bon Boom. Suck at something. Baptist Health and Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
This game, Adedoku needs to put this on target.
Take a look at the first half numbers in this thing. It is a one-sided tilt. Is it reflective of the performance?
Miami FC has been the better side in that first 45 minutes. They were more dominant. They are creating opportunities. But for Lexington, yes, you saw a lot of the ball, but you need possession with a purpose. You need chance creation. 0 shots on target when you're in the midst of a 4-game win streak in all competitions. Just not good enough for Terry Boss. It's a big second half for Lexington to right their wrongs and show a little bit of a response.
The results in the first half, is it more of what Miami is doing or more of what Lexington is not doing?
Miami FC. Yeah. It's been a really good half for Gaston Modoni in terms of their performance through their lineup.
Looks like we'll have some changes. One of the changes, Bill Hamid is coming out. Looked like he was shaken up in the first half when he was mixing it up with Iago. Rafael Martel will come in for him. For Martel, it's his first appearance in USL Championship action. Bill Hamid departs. After the contact with Iago in the first half, we didn't see Bill Hamid limping around or anything of that nature. We'll try to find out as this game goes along the status of Bill Hamid. Second half begins with the one change for Miami. Lexington SC in need of a change. Second half could be a completely different animal for Miami FC. That substitution brought to you by Baptist Health.
Another conversation for Terry Boss and this Lexington side is you need to test this young goalkeeper, an inexperienced goalkeeper in Martel, especially if you get an opportunity to pull the trigger from distance, you go at him and see how quickly he can adapt to this game tempo.
How challenging is it for a young keeper like this? 1 minute you could be on your cell phone fumbling around, and the next minute you're in the match.
Extremely difficult for Martel, not only with his shot-stopping ability, but it's the ability to make the right decision at the right time within the right timing when coming off of your line. So many times we see goalkeepers that do not have a lot of game minutes underneath the belt get caught in no man's land and make really silly mistakes.
So Martel in, just 21 years of age. Man from Germany. But now he gets the nod. Knutson here. Into the attacking third. Zengay, crossing attempt towards the back post. Top of the box, Knutson able to disrupt for a second.
Live there.
Lexington immediately trying to press and attack the young 21-year-old goalkeeper who replaced Bill Hamid. Miami in the first half continued to pound the ball towards the Lexington goal. 12 shots, 5 of them on target. For Lexington, they didn't have a single shot on goal. Zengay settling it down. Miami FC did not do a lot of defending in the first half. Playing downhill has its advantages. Redokun lost it. Knutson here. This will be a corner for Lexington.
That Adedokun is a lot quicker than Jonathan Ricketts. You need to rotate over and provide a little bit of coverage.
One of the areas of focus for a goalkeeper like Bill Hamid is his ability to negotiate and also converse with his players on set pieces while defending. Martel doesn't have that kind of rapport in game mode with his team. Adedokun will take this corner right now. Adedokun, good drive towards the back post. Martel elevates and calms things down. This portion of the broadcast brought to you by Doral Kia.
Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
Lexington begins the second half. Down a goal, trying to survive the onslaught in the first half from Miami and steal 1 point at minimum away. You're Terry Boss. What do you tell your guys as you begin the second half?
That's the goalkeeper. Every time we got the ability to whip the ball into a dangerous area, you need to take it. You need to be efficient. You need to be ruthless. For this Lexington side, only 1 win away from home, 4 losses, 1 draw. We'll talk about the table and how good they've been as of late, but mentally, really important 45 minutes to come into a really difficult place to play at Pitbull Stadium and try to claw yourself back into it. Good opportunity and good challenge for Lexington.
Terry Boss liked his attacking third. 5 players that he had mentioned to us earlier this week that have had a major impact on their performance and their winning streak. Adedokun has been one of them, and he's been fantastic. Epps the other. Firmino hasn't been a factor yet in this match. Adedokun with an open lane. Adedokun, the chip to the right-hand side. Ayaga was there, Zingay as well. Matrano get in front of this ball. Blanco gets dropped.
Really good box defending from Miami FC. All back 4 players drop in, get their body position right, and have the ability to go out and attack this ball in from Adedokun. In the end, you just see the cleverness from Sebastian Blanco. Clean first touch to feel the contact, and just wrong foot Kendall Burks here. Gives this side the ability to push higher and gain some real estate higher up the field.
Miami was not a side last year that played with the advantage. Team consistently playing from behind. Last year, conceding a league worst 89 goals. The goal differential 63. Won't happen this year. Too much talent up front. The defense is cleaned up, and Bill Hamid has been fantastic for Miami. They had 3 wins all of last year. This year they're sitting on 5, trying to get to 6. But they look better across all competitions. US Open Cup, Jägermeister Cup. Epps. Firmino. Lexington moving up the ranks from USL League One to USL Championship. But it's just the personnel that have not seen the difference. Vasquez hovering over, and we got our first booking of the second half. Joe Hafferty, the guilty side.
The bench for Lexington, very frustrated with this call from Elvis Osmanovic as Joe Hafferty goes into the book. They're saying that the center back is about 80 yards from his defending goal, but the outstretched, the extension of his right leg catches Christian Vasquez, gets himself into the books, and you just see Sebastian Blanco and Francisco Bonfilo need to go at Joe Hafferty and put him on his heels.
Matrano, Christian Vasquez. One change to begin the second half for Miami. No changes for Lexington. Adedokun sprinting forward. Adedokun. Ayago to his right. Adedokun with a strike. Martel had a beat on it. Ayago was on the right-hand side open, but Adedokun wants more of it.
Adedokun's been the most active player for Lexington as he provides the width and he creates a little bit of isolation. Now he has Jonathan Ricketts at his mercy. Can go with his left foot, can go with his right foot. How many times have we seen him go to the end line to put it into service as Ricketts overcommits? Now he comes, essentially forcing a good save from Martel to push it wide of his far post.
Corner kick for Lexington towards the back post. Ricketts able to impede. Sargent's ball, some backspin. The header just goes over the net.
difficult header for Nick Firmino here. From this distance, with the amount of air that's underneath the ball, you need to time your jump to perfection and try to navigate it on target. Pulls it wide of the top post, not really testing Martel.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of USL. Get all your USL tickets and much, much more. The #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Into the box. Yodi. Lexington, not bad to open up the year. Unbeaten their first 4. Then they fell off the map. Won this in 13 straight, 0-8-5. Scored 9 goals during that span. And now they've run off 4 in a row. That's in danger of falling tonight to Miami. Good throw into the box. Knutson able to get out of the 18. Miami has been stingy when it comes to streaks this year. They have been slump busters. Left-hand side, Ayaga was open for a minute. Adeokun could not settle it. Zenge. Miami has done a lot more defending in the second half than they did in the entire first 45 minutes of play.
Done better for Lexington, especially on the ball. Playing a little bit quicker, more patient in their build-out phase. Exactly what we've come to expect, especially as of late for the team from Kentucky. And doing that now, Miami FC needs to pay very close attention within their defensive structure, making these last 2 lines very compact and tight.
This one played in the right-hand side. That equalizer just misses by Zenge.
Shouts for an offside, especially through the back line of Miami FC, as Zenge is going to arrive late to this second post. The deflection off of Mercado here. What an opportunity that is for Zenge. You need to make clean contact at the very least. Put it on target, force a save out of Martel, pulls it wide. Another wasteful opportunity for this Lexington side.
Much better performance in half number 2 for Lexington. And now Miami without their best keeper. Trying to hold on. An insurance marker would be valuable for Miami at this point. Against a team that has been brewing with confidence for the past month. Bonfilio. Blanco with some real estate. Blanco hovering around Matrano. Blanco. Matrano eludes 2 defenders. He can't keep this one in, but it'll be a corner for Miami.
This is when Sebastian Blanco is at his best. When the ball's at his feet, when he's in a rhythm and very comfortable in tight spaces. Yes, this ball gets poked away, but still he wants it back, and this is instinctual, wrapping around. Zenge doing just enough to throw off Alejandro Matrano, who gives you a little bit more of an aggressive positioning from his left back role and quality in the attacking third.
Matrano does have some giddy up. Blanco and Vasquez both near the corner flag. Vasquez will be taking it. Vasquez, lofty service. That ball not handled well by Miami. Blanco with a miss hit. Miami forced to put this one out of bounds. Mercado left in no man's land. Second substitution here in this second half. Nicholas Cardona will come into the affair.
Taking off a midfielder, bringing in a defender. Ferguson Madoni tells you exactly where his mind is at. Trying to set up shot and close this game down. Defensive will be the top priority for Miami FC to secure this win.
The substitution brought to you by Baptist Health. There have been times throughout the year that Gaston Madoni has been quick with the changes because he gets a sense that momentum has shifted from his side to the other. And others, he's been delayed on it. Do you feel this is an appropriate move?
It's going to be interesting to see the tactics, what that will change for Miami FC. It does seem it's going to be almost like for like in terms of the positioning, as Cardona is going to sit right next to Mercado as that double pivot. And again, Iago needs to see yellow here. It's exactly what Elvis Osmanovic does.
Iago was the one that ran into Bill Hamid near the end of the first half. And to highlight the point, Ricky, as you mentioned, probably should have been on caution early in the first half. That was not the case, and now he sees the booking.
Comes in late, catches Metrano. Alejandro Metrano's had himself a really good game as the left back, providing coverage off the shoulder of his two center backs, quick to react. Or not what you want if you are Gaston Madoni. You saw the signal asking for a sub, unable. It does seem like he is unable to continue on. Metrano is.
Iago was drafted by Real Salt Lake in the MLS re-entry draft, but not finding a home in MLS, and now in USL Championship. Terry Boss hoping his level of play can ignite everybody else in the roster. He was the centerpiece of attack in the first 45 minutes of play. Several balls could not get to him, but it was a concerted effort by his teammates to get him involved and try to get him on the board. Alejandro Metrano still on the ground for Miami. This gives Terry Boss's team an opportunity to catch their breath, reset, and still try to find a way to get an equalizer. Not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Their second half performance has been much improved compared to half number one. They were outshot by a wide margin of 12-2 in the first half. Metrano's day is over with. Not putting a lot of power on his leg. So Miami, who has not been victimized a whole heck of a lot this year from the injury bug, losing Bill Hamid and now losing Metrano.
It's going to change things again tactically for Gaston Madoni and Miami FC. Now Cardona is going to play at his left back, positioning a slot and through within that back four. So
Francesco Celeste will come in for him, and Metrano will make his way towards the sideline. Not under his own power, though. Celeste, the replacement, and Gaston Madoni having to shuffle the furniture around a little bit.
So now Celeste is going to play centrally next to Mercado and Vasquez. So this very similar tactic approach for this Miami FC, but the personnel will be different. Cardona will play left back, Celeste will play centrally. You still have the presence of Vasquez, the ability to go and search the game underneath that front three of Bonfilio Milano and Blanco.
Matias Romero not playing tonight, not available. He picked up a red card last week against FC Tulsa. Miami FC in a winning position right now, but losing a couple marquee players in Bill Hamid and also Alejandro Metrano. Vasquez. Akinyote. Celeste here. Apologize for the technical difficulties. We're still hanging out with you, one way or another. 64th minute from Pitbull Stadium. Francisco Bonfilio's goal in the opening half, the difference maker. Lucas Milano with the assist. Sebastian Blanco set it all up from midfield. Second half, Bill Hamid departed. He was subbed out, the goalkeeper for Miami FC, and Alejandro Metrano as well, due to an injury. Lexington playing much better in half number 2. In the second half, Lexington with 3 shots, Miami not a single one. They haven't had a threatening moment towards this keeper, Brooks Thompson.
Been a completely different second half. In the first half, Miami FC was more dominant. They were creating more opportunities. It has been that in reverse. Lexington has been the side that's been more dominant, dictating tempo, playing this game on their speed.
Part of the messaging from Gaston Madoni to his Miami FC side has been to play to their highest level, not to the level of the competition. We've seen it several times this year with victories against Loudoun United, Charleston Battery, and against San Antonio, but they have also faltered against teams with worse records. Tampa Bay, noticeably, twice this year.
So that is going to be the challenge for Gaston Madoni to his side. Mentally, no matter the opposition, you need to prove to yourself, you need to showcase to Miami FC what it means and do the simple things right, winning your individual duels, and it starts with defending this dangerous set piece of Lexington.
Where are you going with this ball?
This ball needs to be popped on right on top of that 6-yard box, especially with the traffic oncoming. Really testing Martel in his positioning.
Dangerous spot here, but electing to give it a go. Jafal, bad ball. Miami able to stumble around with Blanco. You didn't like the execution.
Just so wasteful for Lexington, especially with what we've continued to mention. Martel, inexperience.
Yeah.
There's bodies right in front of him. Put the ball in a dangerous area, just see what happens. Unless you try to be a little bit too cute and overcomplicate a set piece that Sebastian Blanco does really well to read it the whole way. And then it's another wasteful opportunity to really test the goalkeeper.
Martel beginning the second half for Miami. He made 1 stop so far. Pressure's been there for Lexington, but it has not been throughout this match, and that is why they trail 1-0. Fortunate enough, it wasn't 2 or 3-0. Sebastian Blanco missed an open net. Francisco Bonfilio had a shot stopped on the goal line. Grand Sargent able to get in front of it. Goes right back to Lexington. While we have a moment, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus hear live matches from USL, MLS, Premier League, and much, much more, all on Sirius XM FC 157. Iago pinballed off of Ricketts. Miami has a monster contest coming up with Charleston Battery on July 19th. It is on the road. And for Lexington, they take on Sacramento Republic on the 19th in Northern California. Points are needed tonight, but for Gaston Madoni, extra point of emphasis is to get things accomplished on home soil, because once you go on the road, the elements are completely different. You're not expected to win on a regular occurrence, no matter who you are, if you're Miami FC or Louisville.
Not only in world football, not only in USL Championship, but in world football, winning your home matches and picking up as many points as you possibly can is always a top priority for any manager. So for Gaston Madoni, efficiency comes into play. It doesn't have to be your best football for the menu of this game, but you have to have the ability to secure these 3 points here.
Lexington right now behind the 8 ball, 4-game winning streak across all competitions, including a 1-0 victory last week against Phoenix. Adedokun, the game winner in the 34th minute. Long ball by Burks. Iago forcing that ball away towards target with a straight arm into the chest of Bolo Akinioni.
Yeah, Iago needs to be really careful here. Whenever you have your arm extended away from your body, especially very high, cause for concern. Other center forward needs to be a lot smarter in the way that he goes into challenges, because Bolo Akinioni, an experienced player, definitely knows how to play the game within the game and making his side take an advantage.
Tempo for Miami has slowed down in half number 2, but for Lexington, it has ratcheted up a bit. This goes back to what Terry Boss had mentioned earlier this week. His club having chances and now seizing the moment. They have not capitalized on the limited opportunity they've been given here tonight, but they continue to mount in the second half compared to the first 45.
Good win there from Joe Hafferty.
Hafferty on the right-hand side did not receive it back, though. And Okun, sharp angle against Knutson. Good play.
Again, it's Knutson providing coverage off the shoulder of Jonathan Ricketts, understanding how dangerous Okun is. Knutson has had himself a really good game within his positioning and providing coverage.
Miami came into this match on the outside of the playoff spot. They are now in it for the time being. Lexington on the outside. They have a handful of teams are right in front of them. Separation from top to bottom, 10 points.
If you're Lexington, you need more of a pocket presence underneath Iago. And in doing that, it gives you the ability to play in between lines, but more importantly, it allows Iago to be higher. As a frustrated striker, he just needs to go searching. He wants to get on the he wants to get touches. So characteristically, he's just going to drop in and try to get on the ball. And what that does, that just plays in front of the back line of Miami FC. So Marcus Epps, who mostly has been a wide player, is playing underneath, and these are two attacking-minded subs for Terry Boss.
A few changes here. They're coming for Lexington. Corey Burke coming into the affair. Changes have merit, but Lexington did not look like they were fatiguing it all up until this point.
Just a change of profile for Lexington. CJ Only, the player that they just received on loan from Philadelphia Union, will make his first appearance. He's a player that is very comfortable with the ball. His feet can combine and give you that final product, as well as Corey Burke, a big physical focal point to play off of. So this Lexington side, especially going forward, completely different as they're going to shift into a 3-back system.
Substitutions brought to you by Baptist-El. Epps here. Sebastian Blanco down the deck right now, and this is time for a hydration break. So we heard our lead official, Elvis Osmanovic. Gaston Madoni chopping it up right now with Michael Lawrence on the left-hand side, Brendan Bent on the right-hand side. Those two appear to be coming in right now as Sebastian Blanco still on his wallet. If you're just joining us, a lot of the action for Miami was all in the first half. Francisco Bonfilio, the lone marker in this one, the 24th minute, and this is how it all unfolded. Bonfilio in double-digit scoring. Miami did not have a double-digit score last year at all. Gaston Madoni talking to Dalton Knudsen. Two players entering in right now, Brandon Benton and Michael Lawrence. Blanco's day is over with. I was just going to mention the difference in dynamics with Miami and Lexington, with Olney coming in and Blanco as well. It was the veteran versus the youngster coming in. But then now that changes. Bent entering for Blanco. Changes brought to you by Baptist Health. Lucas Milano will depart. Michael Lawrence in for him.
Really good shift for Lucas Milano. Had a fantastic assist on the goal of Bonfilio, but he did a lot of off-the-ball running. Did work rate to close down the space defensively and kept the game moving in his possession as well. Michael Lawrence is going to give this Miami FC side a big body that they can just play into and really test the back line of Lexington, as you see the happiness on the bench of Miami FC, applauding Lucas Milano in his efforts.
Milano assisting on Bonfilio's goal. Martel trying to hold up his end of the bargain, thrown right into the fire to begin the second half. Gaston Madoni has made several changes now. Miami out of subs. It is their show to hold on now for 3 full points. Miami wins today. It'll be their 6th win of the season. Puts them back above the playoff line.
You see Miami FC elect to go into a 3-back or a 5-back, whatever you want to call it, as Ricketts will slot next to Cardona, Knudsen, and Akanyote, and then you have Bent as the left wing back as well. Michael Lawrence is going to push up next to Bonfilio, so defending is going to be the name of the game for Miami FC in terms of their organization, but also keeping everything in front of them. That's a perfect picture of the back line of Miami right now. 5 across.
We'll park the bus. And for Gaston Madoni, in no need of an additional goal with 5 back. That's a part of Miami's troubling times last year, was their inability to defend on set pieces. Didn't matter if they had 5 back or not. Lexington has not been able to put sustained pressure on Miami for this entire second half, although they've led in possession and led in shots. It hasn't been with a heavy foot. Okun could not receive it. Bonfilio. This goes back to Thompson. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download it now. Nearing away towards full time. Miami did an excellent job of attacking in the first half. And here in the second half, they've done a solid job defending. Chances for Lexington have been seldom, but they haven't been from grade A scoring opportunities. A lot of the moments for Lexington have been outside the 18, Bent with a chip. This one did not have an ability to go on target. Thompson will collect. Okun racing for it. Delivery though for Miami on the defending side, and now Martel and company will have to stave off this corner.
need to be really smart if you are Miami FC at not conceding any set pieces deep in your defensive half. For Lexington, you've had numerous of occasions that you've elected to try to go short here. Adedokun, you need to put this thing into the mixer here.
Adedokun, good velocity. Michael Lawrence there just in the nick of time to defend for Miami.
Doesn't know much about it here, Michael Lawrence. As he does lose sight of his individual marker. Jafon, number 3, center of your screen, creates a little bit of separation, takes a little bit of a deflection as it approaches Lawrence, and it goes up and over the crossbar.
Chess pieces being moved around now inside the 18 again. Daniel Wu also came into the affair, parked near the 6. Adedokun tries luck again. Adedokun, good velocity on this one, speared away by Bonfilio, and he was submarine though.
Have to give a lot of credit to Miami FC, especially defending set pieces. Their positioning has been flawless. Their willingness, equally as impressive.
Pushing our way towards the 90th minute. USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches, expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Thompson. Rafferty here. Lexington running out of time. Road doesn't get any easier for them next week. It's a good barometer for them against the Miami side that has been up and it's been down, just trying to find their rhythm. This one played in nicely. Nice stab by Bolo Akinyoni.
Newton and Bolo Akinyoni has had himself a really good game, winning their 1v1 defending duels, their positioning, providing coverage off of their wide teammates, the heartbeat for Gaston Madoni and this Miami FC side defensively.
Adedokun taking this corner. He's had pretty good service in the opposite end of the pitch. See what he does here, top of the box. Nobody around in orange for Lexington. Sargent was left vacated for a moment. This one hopper, Knutson, gives it right back. Sargent with the left foot, bending away. Ooh, nearly got to that ball. Epps. Epps, opposite way. What direction with that? Adedokun trying to create. High up. Bent, able to climb. Lexington trying to search for some creativity here. Martel comes out.
All 11 players for Miami FC about 30 yards within their defensive goal. And in the end, it's a ball over the top from CJ Only. Good recognition from Martel. And showing a little bit of experience as well, the young goalkeeper here. Coming off his line, taking a little bit longer, getting on his own feet. Precious seconds coming off the clock. Just no real areas that this Lexington side can really break through Miami FC.
Miami's been able to mark Ayaga on a regular occasion tonight. There haven't been any mental lapses by Miami, things that have been there to their detriment in weeks past. But tonight, it's been as clean as it has been, at least through 83 minutes plus.
So you have to think the discipline factor was something that Gaston Madoni wanted to correct throughout this week. When you play against a team like FC Tulsa down a man for a whole entire half. Very difficult. Did not want that to happen again here tonight against the Lexington side. Like you said, David, through 84 minutes, done a good job at keeping all 11 players on the field.
The biggest area that Gaston Madoni wanted his team to build on was the level of consistency. Whether it's offensively, defensively, or somewhere in the middle, he wanted his troops to be on the regular with their performances. The energy might be there, and at times it won't be, just because it's a long season, travel, and compacted schedules. But the want to and the execution must be there to be a contender.
Just no need from Celeste here. And that is that discipline that we were just talking about. The play has gone. CJ only has played the ball. As you see, a yellow card shown by Elvis Osmanovic.
Vasquez will pick up this booking. Adedokun will take it. Adedokun in a good area to serve this ball up in one way or another for Lexington. Vasquez on caution. Adedokun to the back post. The header just missed by Firmino, and he lets out his frustration.
Need more quality here from Nick Firmino. It's a glorious ball in. This ball needs to be headed back across the face of goal, because you have 3 real options in a Lexington jersey crossing that goal mouth. Big opportunity missed for Nick Firmino, who knows he should be doing better from that distance.
Twice now, Firmino in a similar instance, Zengay about 15 to 20 minutes ago. Lack of connectivity for Lexington, and they're still chasing this match. Iago dropped. Make sure you stay with us at the conclusion of this contest. We'll have our Cricket Wireless Man of the Match. We had a hydration break in the first half, a hydration break in the second half. So there will be extended time. We've had a slew of players come in and out in this second half as well for each side. Over under on stoppage time, probably around 5 minutes. If I had to guess. Not that I have any inside information.
Not any, right?
No. Miami aggressive in the opening half of play, having the 1-0 lead over Lexington. Second half has been polar opposite. Expected goals for Miami in half number 2, 0. Shots in half number 2, goose egg. Not a single one on target, not a single one near target.
It's been more defensively for Miami FC, and they've showed good ball there.
Quick chip. Epps. Don't know where he's going with that one either.
In the second half, Lexington has done a good job at getting themselves into that final third, but continues to lack within their quality. Marcus Epps, with the experience and the success that he's had throughout his career, needs to wrap his foot around it and just give his teammates a chance. Just too casual in around that 18-yard box for Lexington.
The changes that Terry Boss made in the second half, nothing has been felt yet. Burke came in, only has come in as well. Firmino had a couple of chances, Mendese as well. Zengay missed on a right-footed chip. Bonfilio called for it. And Michael Lawrence, who's down right now. Iago trying to help him up. Extend some sportsmanship, but he wants him to get up and move, so time isn't wasting for Lexington. Miami's idea was to dictate tempo in the first half, play with possession and passion. They scored their goal, left a couple of them on the board. Off the board, I beg your pardon. And now in the second half, they have not had any kind of semblance of an attack. But Lexington so far has not appeared to have enough firepower to get an equalizer.
Just not enough bite in the final third for Lexington. Very similar to what we saw when they went 13 on without a win. Did a lot of the good stuff in between both boxes, but when it did get higher up the field, it was just a little too slow, indecisive. Players not having that personality just to make a play. And we've seen that in the second half, in particular, from Terry Boss's side.
Terry Boss did feel like coming into this contest that he'd be able to take advantage of Miami overextending with their defense.
But in doing that, David, now you need vertical runs, right? If a defender of Miami FC steps in to a place that is unwarranted, you need someone to test and run in behind, and we haven't seen enough of that. Specifically from Marcus Epps, you play him as a number 10, knowing that he has the mobility and the pace to break lines, to pull center backs out of position, to open up space for a teammate. We haven't seen that same connection and relationship between Iago and Epps. And also give credit to the back line of Miami FC. Ricketts, Bolek, and Yodi, Knudsen, and now Cardona done a good job at understanding the spaces that they want to defend and providing coverage off of another 8 added.
Crazy 8s, 8 minutes of stoppage time. It hasn't been layered across for Lexington. That's been clear as day. Adedokun's been fantastic. Iago's waiting for service, and he's working hard in the middle of the pitch. But they haven't had enough from other players, the complementary pieces, especially once they enter the attacking third. The buildup for Lexington has been one thing, but the ability to create and then finish is just nowhere near what it should be. Bonfilio.
Miami FC doesn't have any more subs. You get to see Gaston Madoni wheeling his side to stay on the field because there's just no subs for Miami FC.
Shades of last week against FC Tulsa, where Miami was down a player the entire second half. Matias Romero picked up red in the first half. He was done. Miami was down that game 2-1, and they played like they were done. And then Kevin Hoyos came in. He helped set up Francisco Bonfilio, who found a ball, awkward way towards the back right-hand post, and Bonfilio was able to equalize, and Miami walked away happy with a 2-2 draw against FC Tulsa. Fans supporting Lexington, unhappy with the result right now. Francisco Bonfilio limping off the field. Bonfilio on the sideline, and Vincent Pedialyte, a Cricket Wireless man of the match, is number 9, Francisco Bonfilio.
Another really good performance for Bonfilio, not only because he found the back of the net, but everything he did off of the ball, the work rate, the ability to press and apply pressure to Lexington, hold up play. You and I continue to have the conversation every single time we're able to call a Miami FC game, saying just the high hopes and the potential for Francisco Bonfilio.
A chip by Iago, there's the equalizer. That's Corey Burke climbing the ladder, late hooks for Lexington, and this match is deadlocked at 1 apiece. Corey Burke off the sideline, and badly needed for Lexington. More creativity here, and they were rewarded.
Give credit to Terry Boss pressing all the right buttons for this Lexington side and bringing in players that you can just play into. Great ball in from Sargent just to put it into a dangerous area. And this is all about Corey Burke wanting it more. Playing off the shoulder of Bolak and Yodi, but notice how high he gets to meet this ball. And it's a fierce header to give Lexington a little bit of life here in the 94th minute.
They get the equalizer, making it 1-1. And more importantly for them, they steal points away from Miami on the road. At death comes life, and for Lexington, this is a completely different team compared to the first half.
Finally getting rewarded for all the hard work and the chance creation in the second half for Terry Boss. And that is why you go out and get a player like Corey Burke to get his third on the season. He's a box number 9, meaning he needs service in around that goal within his movement. It's a great take and header from an experienced striker.
Burke executed, much like Iago tried to early in the first half. The same thing in the second half. Burke tried to turn the corner against Bolo Akinyoti. Miami doing a lot of defending in the second half and nothing offensive. And they were victimized. Losing Francisco Bonfilio, who came off on the sideline. Miami was also down a player because of the injury.
Could it be frustrating for Gaston Modoni in the manner that you concede this goal? If the ball is wide, there needs to be communication between Ben and Bolo Akinyoti. Understanding that Corey Burke is playing in between you. Either Bolo needs to drop off or Ben needs to rotate over and get goal side. It's far too easy for Corey Burke just to play in between and find the back of the net.
Things happen over the course of a long season where they tend to even out. Miami, not the better team last week against FC Tulsa, down a player, and they found a way to get the equalizing goal. Tonight, completely different. It was a 180. They were the better team against Lexington for the majority of this contest, but did not pose a threat in the second half. And because of that, Lexington hung around, and finally seized the moment late.
When you're playing against a team that is in the form of Lexington, 3-1-1 in their last 4 straight wins in all competitions, they're going to be full of confidence. They're going to create opportunities. They're going to want to be on the ball, and that's exactly what we've seen in this second half for Terry Boss. So understanding that if you are Miami FC, how do you bend but you don't break? The ability to suffer but still grind out results. Frustration for Gaston Modoni.
Not a complete 90 for Miami, and Lexington showing some resolve. Deflating as 1 point will be for Miami, and they need to hold on for the 1 point. Lexington looking for a whole lot more. Lawrence is back. Martel here. Martel gave it away. Firmino trying to get service back. This drive from Burke, deflected, goes over the cage.
Corey Burke has changed this game for Lexington going forward. Physical, dominant number 9, but also has very good feet that he can wiggle in and out of tight spaces, create his own shot, also giving them some confidence to play into.
Sargent able to elevate a ball for Burke, who clocks in at 6'4". Makes it a lot easier to put it over a guy like Bolo Akinyoti. Gives up a couple inches. Adedokun on this corner. Adedokun. Soft delivery into the box. Knutson able to get in front of it. Knutson with some open real estate. Does he have any gas in the tank? Plays this ball over the left-hand side, but it's going to scoot out of bounds. These teams came into this matchup fairly even. The only difference was the win-loss draw record, but they each had 17 points. And we conclude this contest, Ricky. Nothing will be settled.
You just look at the momentum throughout this game as well. First half was all Miami, second half was all Lexington. It's always going to come down to someone just making a play when a game has gone back and forth in that way. There's going to be more clinical and critical moments in both boxes. We've seen two really well taken goals. for either side.
Corey Burke for Lexington, the equalizer. Francisco Bonfilio in the first half. Miami record a shot in the second half. Bonfilio will walk his way inside the 18 along with Jonathan Ricketts. Lawrence will attempt to throw in. Now everyone packing inside the 18 for Gaston Madoni's troops. Lawrence trying to deliver a dramatic ending to this contest. Long throw in, bobbled away. Ayago has it. Celeste tumbles over it. Adedokun on the counter. Adedokun shuffled over to the right-hand side. That ball will not find its intended target. 8 minutes of stoppage time. We've gone well past that.
I also saw Bonfilio go down for about a minute.
Epps.
Great
nice
touch.
move. Epps couldn't possess.
Just hasn't been as clean as you would want from Marcus Epps as Elvis Osmanovic blows the whistle. In the end, even result, and you split the points between Miami FC and Lexington.
Each team grabbing a point. Lexington stealing one on the road. And for Miami FC, unable to seal the deal.
This game was a story of two halves. It was all Miami FC getting the opportunities in that first half, being really dominant, and Lexington, the better side in that second 45 minutes. But still, if you're Gaston Madoni, the manner that you lose 2 points here needs to sting, and the frustration continues to build for Miami FC. 2 draws back-to-back here at home.
This is exactly why Lexington has been able to climb the ladder, though. 4 straight victories, now unbeaten in 5, in large part because their ability to claw from behind. We've reached full time here at Pitbull Stadium. Miami and Lexington played to a 1-1 draw.
Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
Striking rich.
Just a well-taken goal from Miami FC. It starts with the build-up phase for with the points.
Stinging as it is for Miami FC, they do get 1 point. Full-time numbers in this thing, it was even when it was all said and done, but this is clearly a tale of two halves.
You just see the shots on target for both of these sides. 0 at halftime for Lexington and 5 for Miami FC. Nothing's changed for Miami FC. 3 shots for Lexington. That just tells you what it was all about in that second 45 minutes Lexington settled into the game. We saw what we've come to expect over the course of this win streak for Lexington, but for Miami FC, you still saw glimpses of the way that you scored that goal, but now you need more consistency at closing games out. 2 draws back-to-back. Gaston Madoni needs to be a little bit frustrating, and a response is needed from Miami.
Each team now with 18 points. Lexington improves to 4, 6, and 6. Miami FC improves to 5, 7, and 3. Miami's next broadcast on July 19th at Charleston. We'll have all the action for you as well. Lexington gets on a plane and they will head to California to do battle with Sacramento Republic. For my broadcast partner, Ricky Lopez Espin, I'm David Gascon. Hope you enjoyed this one. Tonight, Miami and Lexington play to a 1-1 draw. Good night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.